Rise and shine, everyone. So it's been another late start for me on this morning because my daughter is still sick, y'all, and still keeping me up at night. But it's okay, because guess who's here to still bring forth this word? Yes, it's me, it's me, it's me. So listen, today is February 23rd, 2022, and it is 8:22 a.m. Look at them twos, y'all. Them twos still coming forward on today. Okay, so today's word is going to be titled, "The days of receiving manna are over. You are about to enter a season of overflow." Listen, I was laying down last night and I kind of had trouble sleeping. Yeah, I already know what happens when I have trouble sleeping. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like what is, I tossed and I turned, and then eventually I was like, you know what, let me pray. So I prayed and I watched like a YouTube video or two, and then I just laid there in silence and meditation, right? And then I just heard these words that I just read because I wrote them down. And I was like, oh my God. Brief interruption, but I am back, okay? So I was laying in bed last night and these words just dropped into my spirit, right? And so I started to just like pray about this word that the Father had just brung to me. And so then this morning I woke up and I was like, I got to get this word out here, right? So the Father led me to scripture. So he led me to Exodus 16, verse 3. And it says, "And the children of Israel said to them, if only we had died by the hand of the Father in the land of Mitzrayim, when we sat by the pots of meat and when we ate bread to satisfaction. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to put all his assembly to death with hunger." Okay, and then moving on to 4, it says, "And the Father said to Moshe, see, I am raining bread from the Shimeon for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day in order to try them, whether they walk in my Torah or not." So listen, it's been a drought season out here in these streets for us, okay? And it just seemed like, I know for me especially, and I was just saying this to myself, I was just like, what is happening? It seems like I'm literally just getting only enough to do what I need to do, right? Like, so only enough to pay my bills, only enough to get gas, only enough to get food. Like, it hasn't been a surplus. It's only been just enough to do what it is that I need to do in the moment that I need to do it in. And I'm just like, what is going on? I couldn't understand it, right? And so I'm like, what's happening? Because it's like, no matter what I do, it's like I only have enough to do what I need to do. And then that's it. I have to wait for, another provision to be made. And so when the Father brought me this scripture, y'all, and when I truly thought about it this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is exactly what I've been going through. And now it all makes sense. Like it didn't make sense then when I was rubbing two pennies together and, and paying one thing and then got to wait for another provision. It didn't make sense to me. And so now I understand it's because the Father had us in this drought period, right? He had to break us down and put us into position to where we would only focus on. Okay, guys, so it was another brief interruption, but I promise y'all I'm back. So listen, so where did I leave off at? So basically, the Father had us in this position, and it was because he needed to see if we was going to stand by his word, right? Like, if I'm only giving you just enough to do what it is that you need to do, are you going to trust me? Because at the end of the day, if he can't ensure that he can trust you with a little, then how can he trust you with a lot? If he can't trust you with a little, then how can he trust you with abundance? If he can't trust you with a little, then how can he trust you with overflow? So this moment of just having barely enough, it was all a trial period, okay? It was all a period of testing to see if he can trust you, okay? If you was going to make him head of your finances, if you was going to believe him to provide provision when you didn't even see where provision was coming from. And so now he is saying, job well done, my faithful servant. Job well done, my children. You have passed the test. I've given you manna from heaven. You've only had enough. You was barely making it, barely getting by, barely having money in your bank accounts. You was barely. Accounts was going negative because you had to pay bills or buy gas or get food for your house. And it was just like barely enough, but yet and still you was finding a way through. The Father was providing this way through, right? But he's saying now it is job well done, and you are entering into a season of overflow. You are entering into a season of abundance, and soon there's going to be a surplus. It's going to be an overflow. Okay, financially, you don't have to worry about barely having enough or lacking or trying to make it or just getting by. Those days are going to be past, okay? And now there is a new season, a new time that is coming forward. And we know, okay, because this isn't a word, that there is a time for everything, okay? There is a time for everything. So there was a time when you had to be tested with your finances, and now there is a time that he is going to bless your finances and cause you to come into a season of overflow and abundance. And that time is here. You passed the test. Congratulations. You did it. I did it. We did it. We stood the test of time. Despite what was going on and despite how we had to struggle and we was like swimming uphill, swimming upstream, okay, trying to fight this thing, trying to fight this current. Listen, the Father said, it is done. You have passed the test. He has tested you in the wilderness. He has brought you into the wilderness to show you that he would provide for you, that he is the way, that he is the light, that he is the truth, that you can trust in him and he is going to see you through. And he's so pleased. He is pleased that you have passed this test, and now he can move you on to the next phase of these blessings and give you more than enough, give you plenty, give you overflow, give you abundance. So that was a quick word, y'all. I just wanted to hop on here and say this morning. And I was supposed to do it last night. Actually, it was a different word I was going to do last night. And I still have to do that video. But I wanted to put this video out real quick because the Father deposited this quick word into my spirit. And I just want to say congratulations. You've passed the test. You can dry your eyes. You can wipe those tears because barely enough is over. You are now going to enter into a season of more than enough. Everything that you see that seemed as if it was taken from you is going to be restored to you, okay? Main thing being your finances. There was a major struggle in your finances. This has been like a major concern. And it's a concern no more because he is blessing you with more than enough, more than enough, more than enough. And you are going to be able to be a blessing onto other people. So remember, when he's bringing you into this land, okay, flowing with milk and honey into this promised land, when he is bringing you into this abundance, that you have to remember to never forget when you was in the wilderness. Never forget where you was at. Never forget where you came from, right? And you have to pour in now into his kingdom. Now you have a responsibility to look out for your brothers and your sisters who are still at the bottom of the ladder trying to work their way to the top. You have a responsibility to give them a helping hand and help to pull other people up. Don't get to the top and think it's just about me, because guess what? I can assure you, as quick as you get to the top, you will be back at the bottom. Okay? So don't get to the top and get so big-headed and think that, you're just so great and so grand that you cause these blessings to happen on your own. It is nobody but the Father's hand that is bringing these blessings and this abundance into your life. Okay? So no longer will you lack. And when you get to the top, you have to remember those that still lack. And if you can, help. Whatever you can do, help. Be of assistance. Don't get to the top and get so selfish and think that it's only about you. Okay? Because he is causing you to be blessed so that you can be a blessing onto others. So that's my word. I hope y'all having an amazing morning, and I will see y'all on the next video.